just a small little goblin. No, please don't swing your sword. I'll die to just one attack. I only have 3 hit points. Please, sir. I'm a little goblin. I will not drop good items. No, his sword is so strong. I am level 1 goblin. I don't know why I guard this dungeon. Oh, I'm just a small little goblin. No, please don't swing your sword. I'll die to just one attack. I only have 3 hit points. Please, sir. I'm a little goblin. I will not drop good items. No, his sword is so strong. I am level 1 goblin. I don't know why I guard this dungeon. Oh. Hi, yeah. And I reached it. Welcome to D&D Horror Stories with Irie. That's me. That is me. Would you believe? I do not believe. Matte. You see nothing. I just want to be a little brighter. Okay. You saw nothing. Shush. Hi. Welcome. じゃじゃーん。じゃーん。how did you enjoy the little surprise that I prepared for you? Did you like it? Did you like it? What happened to the level 1 goblin while he died? ごめんなさい、でも this story does not have a happy ending. It died. I hope you liked it. Also, arigato. Thank you so much, Michael. I rolled a nat 20. I said bully. No, that is incorrect. That is incorrect, Ma. No dice number says bully, you know? I'm starting to think that this is just an excuse for you actually wanting to bully me. Demo, I'm not too sure yet. Hi. Also, arigato. Thank you so much, personal. Not 20. Mindset 1, critical failure. Can't bully, only give headpats. Okay, there we go. That's more reasonable, you know? You tried to bully Demo, you rolled a not 1. Also, arigato. Thank you so much, JoJo's Bizarre Reviews. Can I try? What's my roll? Wait. I will just for you get out my dice bag. Mateo, actually roll a dice for you. Let's see. Okay, I got the D20 here. Let's see what you get. What you trying to do with your roll, You trying to roll for... I dropped my bag. No! What are you rolling for? You rolling for bully? Okay, I need to know what check we'll be making. Hi. What? Tell me quickly. What are you rolling for? Also, arigato. Thank you so much. Nebulosity. Thank you for turning very card. Okay, roll for something. You rolled a 3. I'm sorry. It's only a 3. Is that the right dice bag? I don't think that's the right type. No, it's not the right one. What? Mateo, the dice fell out. ちょっと。Mateo, go pick them up and I'll tell you what I rolled. Oh no. I rolled a 6 on the D12. I rolled a 4 on the D4. Where did the other ones go? Oh no. I'll search for them later. I lost half of my dice. Oh no. でも大丈夫。 This is fine. This is fine. So, I am here to read your stories, and I have Fanta! Wow! I have McDonald's Fanta. My mama brought me a cup. So I'll be sipping on this while we're reading the stories. Ne, also have my duckwood so warm. So warm. Ma, my room is really, really badly insulated, so in summer it gets like really hot. Mate, let me take my clothes off just a second. Okay, I took my clothes off. Then that's fine. I only live with my mama, so it's okay. It's okay. Let's start with the very first story. The first story is called My Character Was Almost Killed in My First D&D Session Because I Wanted to Feed Orphans. As a pro player, Irie, I can tell you that feeding orphans is one of the worst mistakes you can make. Yeah, easy way to get your character killed, Nene. Nande? Why is everyone bunking? What are you getting bunked for, huh? Ne? Ma? Okay, let me get a little closer to the microphone. And I think we're about ready to start. Content warnings. Fictional child death. Exclusion? Question mark? First things first. This is not the worst horror story I've heard by far. This still was a bit of a bad experience for me. My friend Tav was her first time interacting with D&D. I hold no animosity towards anyone in the story, as we were all young and this was years ago. But rather I want to share the story to get it off my chest. The players were me, playing a Beastmaster Ranger with a direwolf animal companion. First time playing D&D. Ranger for the first time was not really good pick. Wizard, playing a wizard, as you would guess. Yes, this wizard is made out of wizard. First time playing D&D. Barbarian, sibling of DM and Rogue, invited me and Wizard to play and introduced us to the idea of D&D as a whole. Rogue, sibling of DM and Barbarian, problem in the story, along with the DM. And finally, the DM, older sibling of Barbarian and Rogue. Also a bit of an issue in the story. Okay, so now for the story. Barbarian, Wizard, and I were all really close friends in middle school. And one day Barbarian brought up that their sibling plays Dungeons and Dragons. Wizard and I, not knowing anything about the game, were immediately super interested. And eventually Barbarian invited us over to play D&D with their family. Wow, D&D family activity, that sounds great. During the time leading up to the session, both Wizard and I were super excited. We both tried to learn about the different classes and races as best as we could. Both Wizard and I ended up with super basic, practically self-insert characters, but we were both super happy with what we had created. The day of the session arrived, and both Wizard and I were stoked to finally play. But once again, we knew literally nothing about the game. Right off the bat, our party was placed in a relatively open area. If I'm honest, I don't remember why we were just dropped in the open, but as we were trying to figure out what to do, probably within the first 10 or so minutes of the game, Wizard walked forward into a trap that none of the players had seen, and was immediately paralyzed. Oh, paralyzed doesn't... permanently? It pronounced doked like natural. Oh, I saw it because it was in Heather's. You know, in the song Candy Story they go, "Color me stoked." So that's how I know it. Um, Obviously, Wizard and I were very caught off guard by this, and when we asked DM what was going on, they responded by saying that we should have done a perception check. Wizard and I were confused as we had literally no idea what a perception check was at the time or how we were supposed to make one, but both of us just accepted that we made a mistake and tried to move on. Wizard was eventually released from their paralysis and the game continued. Eventually, the party came to a town and started to wander toward the nearest tavern to try and figure out what our quest was going to be for the session. Immediately, as we walk into the city, an orphan kid, described to be no more than 5 or 6, is said to walk up to my character, and specifically only my character. Now, something about me personally is that I have a giant soft spot for children and animals, and almost every character I play shares this sensitivity. As this was my first D&D character, I shared practically every trait with my D&D character, and as such, I immediately felt super attached to this little kid. The kid begged for some food, and without hesitation, I had my character pull out her rations and hand over a portion to this kid. Suddenly, my character was flooded with a bunch of orphan kids all begging for food. As this happened, I turned and asked the DM if we were going to a place where we could get more food, and if I had enough rations between my character and her dire wolf to be able to feed all the kids who showed up. DM said that we were going to a place where we could get food, and that I did not have enough food for all the kids, but that if everyone in the party gave up the rest of their rations, we could feed all the kids. I immediately turned to the party and started to ask for everyone to give up their rations, and started to try and explain that we could buy more food, but I was cut off by the rogue. Rogue had been getting irritated throughout this whole interaction, but apparently this was the last straw, as he narrated his character walking over to one of the children and pulling out a dagger. He said, both in-game and out-of-game, that he was going to count down from 10, and if I hadn't left by then, he was going to kill the child. Ah! How dare you ask me to feed an orphan? Stop this immediately, or I will kill the orphan. Nandea? I immediately panicked. As I mentioned before, I have a massive soft spot for children, and I was terrified that any of these fictional kids would get hurt. So I tried to explain my plan to Rogue and negotiate with the DM to try and make it to where I could have my character feed all of the kids, all while Rogue counted down. I remember getting physically upset that the countdown was happening, both at the prospect that Rogue would follow through with his threat, and that I felt like no one was listening to me. Despite my efforts to persuade or negotiate my way into a better solution, Rogue reached the end of his countdown and turned to the DM, saying that he wanted to stab the child in front of him. DM didn't even make Rogue roll and said that Rogue killed the child, and all of the orphans scattered. Oh, I was absolutely livid at this, and I believe at this point I started to tear up, and was on the verge of crying. I was visibly upset at this turn of events, and had my character start to yell at Rogue. Admittedly, I probably got too upset over the turn of events at this point, but don't worry, it gets worse. While the exact details on how the next event happened are admittedly very fuzzy on my part, since the story was years ago, the important part is that the party ended up kidnapped and taken down into the sewers under the city. We were taken to have an audience with the leader of a secret crime syndicate that was apparently stationed in the city, and quickly learned that the child of this crime boss was the orphan that Rogue had stabbed. Immediately the crime boss, referred to as CB for the rest of the story, asked the entire party who was responsible for killing the child. I, being admittedly still angry out of game, had my character read out Rogue and started to explain the whole situation, only to be interrupted by Rogue saying that I had a choice of not killing the kid if I had just given up on feeding all the children. I then pointed out that I was just trying to feed all the kids, and that if everyone had just given up some of their rations, we could have fed all the children, and then just bought more rations. CB then interrupted the argument and said that he had a decision about who was responsible. I admittedly was a little too proud at this moment. I genuinely thought that Rogue was going to be punished for killing the kid. Much to my surprise, however, CB had all the guards grab my character and tie her up in a magical rope that no one could break. I was absolutely stunned and didn't understand why I was being punished, as DM explained that CB appreciated Rogue for killing the kid because CB can have a weak kid. DM also explained that my character was being punished for being weak, and that CB was actually supposed to be the final boss of the one-shot, and that we skipped straight through him by killing his kid. Back in the game, CB explained that the party could have my character back only after they did 3 things for him, and that every hour the ropes around my character would tighten, killing my character in 24 hours if the tasks were not completed. Note, once again, this was my first time playing D&D, and I was no older than 12 or 13 at the time. I was incredibly upset, but at the time I didn't say anything, because I just thought that this is how D&D goes. And I thought I was just being a sore loser, but now looking back, I know I shouldn't have let the DM know that I was feeling upset. Anyway, the first task given to the party was a simple riddle, specifically the one with the seed, the chicken, and the fox. We have to get all across a gorge with various rules about what can and cannot be left alone together. I immediately spoke up because I already knew this riddle and knew how to solve it. I had my character ask CB if she was allowed to solve it. CB reluctantly agreed, and I had my character explain the solution. CB said my solution was correct, and then said the other 2 tasks had to be performed by the party with no input from my character. I was once again upset that I couldn't participate, but convinced DM to let me control my direwolf instead of my character. Honestly, I don't remember what the last 2 tasks were, but I do remember that my direwolf was absolutely no help to the tasks, and on top of that was completely ignored by the party members whenever I did try to help. So I was left literally doing nothing, while the party was having fun solving the tasks. I started to get more and more frustrated as time went on, as I really wanted to participate, but I knew I couldn't do anything. Finally, the party completed both tasks, with 1 in-game hour left before my character would die. I was really anxious at this point for the party to get back to CCB, so that my character would be released. But relieved that the party had a whole hour to spare. Relieved until the NPC that was with the party suggested that the party stop for a leisurely brunch before going to get my character, that is. I was honestly on the verge of tears, frustrated as the party narrated going inside the tavern for a leisurely brunch, while my character was minutes from dying. The whole party was having fun and joking while I tried to get the party to go and save my character. But all of my attempts to get us the party members out of game to help was met with, "Oh, we have plenty of time, it'll be fine." Finally, I got fed up and had my direwolf burst inside the tavern. It was made to wait outside, and physically try to drag the party members outside. My direwolf was just kicked out again, so I said that my direwolf would just bark and howl non-stop until the party left to go save my character. A bit annoyed, the DM relented and said that the NPC cut the brunch short, and the party headed back to CCB, freeing my character only minutes before she would have died. After that, the session was practically over. I can't imagine we played for more than half an hour after that, but despite all that, I continued to play D&D, and even played with the same group a second time, where I was actually able to play and help the party through things. As I said at the beginning, I don't know. I don't think the story is the worst horror story that I've ever heard, but it definitely was a frustrating experience, especially for my first ever D&D game. Despite it though, I've been playing D&D for years now, and I've been running my own games for about 5 years now. So at the very least, I'm glad that I was able to get through this experience without a bad taste toward D&D as a whole. Jajang! So this was the first story. Mate mate ba. Ba ba ba. I am now in the middle. And as a very experienced D&D player, Nene, oh, 待って。ちょっと、also, ありがとう. Thank you so much, Marco. Hi, Heidi. It was fun watching you play D&D on Friday. Hope you don't have to play with any that guys on stream. Sounds like a bother. I look forward to hearing more of your creativity in the future. Ma, the session yesterday was fun. But I was really tired. Ma, the night before I hadn't really slept at all, 'cause there was a huge spider. And I felt kinda nervous, so I couldn't sleep. So I was very tired when we were playing. And it was, 'cause I have a different voice for my character, Aylin, so you can tell when I'm speaking in character and out of character. So in character, she has a voice that's more like this, a little deeper, more of my mid-range. Then, because I was so tired, I could not focus on keeping a voice. Hi! So, sometimes I try to speak in character, but I just spoke with my normal voice. Oopsie. はい。So about this story, allow me to offer my professional opinion. Well, there's two things I think about it. But wait, first let me start a poll so you can give me your opinion. Who's in the wrong? Is it the player, the DM, or everyone? Jajang! お願い Please vote. はい。ねえ。My concentration check was failed, yes. ははは。ねえ。Honestly, I want to get better at doing character voices, 'cause, I think they all sound pretty similar. Yeah. Then I had fun recording the level 1 goblin. Even though it doesn't really sound like a goblin, it just sounds like a level 1 ID. Mama, let's wait for you to vote. In the meantime, let me share my opinion. Wow. The most glaring person on the wrong is the DM. For one main thing, you never, ever take a player out of commission for such a long time. Hi, 'cause they're spending 3 to 4 hours of their time to play with you. So you can't just be like, your character's tied up, you can't do anything. For the rest of the session when it's still multiple hours. That's really mean. No, I don't think that's ever okay. Just making someone sit there, watching as the rest of the party does everything and, their character isn't there so they can't do anything. That's horrible. That's an absolute no-no. They did get to control the wolf. They said that they had to ask for it. No, they said that you had to ask to be able to control their wolf. So if they hadn't asked, then they would have just not done anything. So, if they hadn't specifically asked to do it, it sounds like the DM would have just been fine not having them do anything. Yeah. And, also, the stuff that the NPCs didn't really make all that much sense. But, some DMs just aren't really good, so whatever. Like, you killed my child. Thank you, good sir. Wow, he was annoying anyway. Well, don't tell his mother I said this, but little Timmy, he was such a brat. I would have punched him myself. Yeah. でも, I also think that OP is in the wrong a little bit. Because it's important to not get agitated at what happens in game. Now, because if you don't like the playstyle of another player, or the DM, like for example how the other player just killed the child, like that's nothing that you'll be able to change, Some people just like to play like that, and even though I don't like it personally, it's not like you'll be able to change how they play the game if the DM sees nothing wrong with it. So if you really don't like it enough that it upsets you out of game, then you probably shouldn't be playing in that game. Nah. Hi. Yeah, they were being a murder hobo demo. It's like the game goes as the DM says it goes. So if the DM likes and encourages that kind of behavior, then it is just that kind of game. Nah. And obviously that's a bad kind of game. I wouldn't want to play in that. But the DM makes the game, so any behavior that the DM tolerates, it's the kind of game it's gonna be. So if you're not okay with that, then you gotta leave. Cause you can't force the DM to change what they accept in their game or not. It's the DM's world and we're just living in it. Hi. Yeah, that's my opinion. The DM is the main issue, but if the OP really got that upset, they should have either not got upset or just not played. Nah. Okay, let's close the poll. And 40 people say that everyone is in the wrong. Meanwhile, 47 people say the DM is the main issue here, which I agree with. Honestly, I think for me, I personally think it's more on everyone. Yeah, the DM is a big issue. Hi. Ja. Next story. 待って、let me move aside. Choo-choo. Ta-da! Da-da-da-da. Okay. Am I the problem player? So this is fresh and has caused a bit of a rift in the gaming group. But here goes. Also keeping some details vague, as I know most of the people in the group use Reddit. First context. Normally, I am a forever DM. Waha! Just like me. I am one of the very few people that actually enjoys DMing, so that is my preferred role at the table. Though a friend started up a campaign that he DMs and oh sorry. Go man. 待って、sorry. I have a little habit of marking text while I read it. It's an unconscious thing. I didn't even realize I was doing it. Welcome. um, The friends started up a campaign that he DMs and I run a PC in that one. To be honest, I don't really enjoy it. It's no fault of my friend. He's put a lot of work into his world and was trying his absolute best to engage the player at the table. I just don't enjoy being a play character. I love to be performative as a DM, and I like to think I'm good at it. Comparatively, being a PC is limiting, unstimulating, and exhausting for me. Despite this, I show up for my friend's campaign and do my best to participate. I'd be lying if I said this wasn't causing some burnout, but I'm trying my best to be supportive, and I fully admit I'm not perfect. I have a nasty habit of losing my character sheet in the clutter of my apartment, something that's rightfully earned me the ire of some other players in the group. Recently, another player in the party, let's call them Player 2, wanted to run a one-shot set in the DM's campaign. This was their first time DMing in quite a while, as in years. I get that they were rusty, but to their credit, the opening of their one-shot was solid. We had banter with some NPCs, then we ambushed a squad of baddies and absolutely wrecked them. The one-shot started its downward spiral in the aftermath of the ambush. One of the baddies was carrying some kind of magical item. My character grabs it, but passes the safe that it prompts. Realizing that it's something both magical and probably dangerous, I take it over to two other characters. I hold it out to them, asking for one of them to investigate the item with magic. The player 2 describes the action to me as me waving it around, prompting the item to give everyone a save. Passing the safe didn't matter, and suddenly we were in a different area. And cue me getting bad stuff for the rest of the session for waving a magical item around like an idiot. It turns out we've been warped to a divine sanctum. Not wanting to be here, we politely ask the first being we meet there if we can leave. No, you must do battle here because you are intruders. We try in vain to explain that we were transported here against our will and just want to leave. We're rational people with no desire to battle God after all. No, you must do battle here because you're intruders. We try to explain that we really just don't want to battle a deity and want to leave. No, you must do battle here because you're intruders. This repeats for several minutes. Every single attempt at diplomacy is rebuffed. I mentally check out. I can clearly tell that this is a battle that Player 2 wants us to do, and fully intends to railroad us into doing it. Eventually, our warlock loses patience and starts slinging spells. Hours of combat ensue. There feels like no rhyme or reason to it. We're here to battle a god because Player 2 says we have to. And eventually it's all over and we win. It's late, I'm exhausted. I've been ribbed about waving around magic items one too many times. I'm out of energy to keep phoning and being a player. During some in-character roleplay, it's revealed that my character was pulled to the campaign from another plane and just wants to go home. It turns out our wizard had taken banishment and uses it to try to send me home. This leads to an immediate retcon. Banishment doesn't work on my character. I would like to take an aside here to point something out. I am well aware that this backstory/motivation can be resolved by a 5th level spell. That was intentional. I wanted to give our original DM an easy out in case I ever decided to switch characters in the future. And that's actually something I was planning on doing in the coming weeks, since I think learning to play a new class might help me regain some enthusiasm. The one-shot wraps and I take my leave. I'm pretty fast at the door, but that's mainly because I have a long drive home and I work in the morning. In retrospect, I admit it does look like I was just trying to get out. I wake up to texts from the other players in the morning. Player 2 apparently cried after I left. My disinterest was apparently much more noticeable than I realized. I feel legitimately bad about that. I showed up and tried my best to get invested, but clearly I just wasn't good enough. So yeah, I guess I'm the problem player. I'm going to talk to DM about dropping out as a player. I just don't think that's the role I'm suited to, and they deserve someone that can give better participation than I can. ねえ、that's the story. But, okay. そう。Who do you think is in the wrong here, and why? Is it the player? Is it the person who DM'd the one shot? Or is it everybody? Nah. Ba 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 ba. Mama. So. まだよ。Interesting. Let me take a sip of my Fanta. Well, otherwise the Fanta is gonna get warm too. Tasty. Ma. Aside from the question that's currently being pulled, I have another question. What do you prefer? Do you like can, bottle, or fountain Fanta? Which one do you like the most? Can Fanta, bottle Fanta, or fountain Fanta? There's one answer that I think is objectively right, but it's okay if you answer wrong. Ma, I personally like canned Fanta the most. I don't know, it just tastes different, tastes better. Something about drinking like a very, very, very cold can of Fanta in summer is the best. The best. Ma, usually for me a can is enough. Damn, I get that. I don't really eat or drink all that much, so someone who has a higher intake than me, I see how it might be a little. Hi. Ma, it's nice because, it's easier to make cans cool. Hi. Ma, let's see how the votes turned out. Ma, 13% of you said that the player is in the wrong. 33% said that the DM is in the wrong. And 53% of people said that everyone is in the wrong. Allow me to share my professional opinion as a qualified level 1 goblin who has also been a DM and a player in the past. So therefore my opinion is of course right. Teacher Sensei mo, I shall teach you very well, so make sure to take notes. So personally, I don't agree with your votes. I think that the player is 100% in the wrong. No. In my opinion, this is not an everyone issue, nor is it fault of the DM. In my opinion, I think it's the player. Allow me to explain why. So, first of all, at the very start of the post, he already said that he does not enjoy being a player. Then why are you joining campaigns? He says, oh, I get really bored while playing campaigns and it's really unstimulating and I find it hard to focus. Then why are you joining a game? He even said at the end, I think the DM deserves a better player who gets more involved with the story and actually enjoys the game. D&D takes so much time. Takes 3 to 4 hours. That's quite a lot of time to put into something. So why would you do that when you don't enjoy it? And at the same time, Ma, the DM, he also deserves a player that really cares about the game and doesn't just sit there feeling bored. I know that the player tried. Demo, still doesn't change the fact that he was bored and apparently not very good at hiding it. Now, as for the one-shot scenario, ito, as for the one-shot, a one-shot is a one-shot. For a one-shot, it's not like a sandbox type thing, especially when you're not an experienced DM. In a one-shot, you plan one specific encounter, and, the players have to play that encounter. In a one-shot, it's very difficult not to railroad, especially if you're not an experienced DM. Because, you make a setting, and you're like, okay, they will fight this boss at the end. And, if you're a better DM, you can make it seem in a way that it doesn't seem too railroady. You just change some descriptions or change the way that the players get to the encounter demo. If you're not a good DM or not an experienced DM, you might not know how to do that. And so, from what I could tell, the DM's plan was probably, oh, they find the magic item, they touch it, fall under a spell, get sucked into that alternate dimension type thingy. They are intruders there and have to fight the monster that I prepared. Now, demo, for new DMs especially, or when they haven't really played in a while, sometimes it gets scary. When, they have this plan of how things are going to lead to things. And, then the players are just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And, they have to find a way to get them there. Of course, you could just say, oh, well, the magic item didn't work, but now just a random portal opens up and you fall into that world. Demo, they probably wanted to use that magic item as a gateway and, yeah, especially in one-shots, it's not easy to not railroad, because you have a set path, and you don't have anything else that you prepared, because things are supposed to happen in that order. They find the magic item goes off, they fall into the portal, they fight the monster. One-shot end. Nah? And as a DM running a one-shot, you don't prepare anything other than that. So if the players are like, oh, screw that, we're not gonna do that, we're gonna go somewhere else, we're not gonna fight, that's kind of bad manners. Hi. Nee, that is kind of bad manners. Ma, allow me to explain it a little more. One time I played a one-shot with some friends of mine. And it was like, oh, there's a cursed town. And there's a monster in the cursed town. So obviously, after finding that out, what would the characters do? They would leave the town. ASAP. And coincidentally, our characters were like right outside the town border while we found that out. So, we could have just left. Demo. I know, obviously we knew that the DM had just prepared that. We can't just go out into the world and be like, yep, we're starting adventuring business now. We want to visit different kingdoms. No, we knew that the DM only prepared like this specific quest for us to do because it was a one-shot. So, we found a reason to stay. We found a reason to do the encounter. That's kinda, what you do in a one-shot. Nah. Hi, so the DM was probably inexperienced and got really panicked when, the players just didn't wanna follow the story. Just didn't wanna do the big encounter that they prepared. Cause in a one-shot, like, there's not much else you can do. You know, the OP goes on for quite a while about how, Ma and we argued, like, no, we don't want to fight. But what is there aside from fighting? Every one-shot leads up to one big battle. So if you don't fight that battle, the one-shot is just over. So, you know, in a one-shot you don't get to have as much control over the world. Since it's all gonna... yeah. Ma, that's on the DM though. They need to tell the players beforehand that that's the goal of the one-shot. Ma... honestly, as a experienced D&D player, oh no, I don't think so. Cause it's kinda obvious, no? If the DM goes, oh, you need to fight this strong god to be able to get out of here. Like, even just while reading this, my immediate thought was, okay, that's the counter they prepared. You know? You wouldn't just think, oh, they want us to run away from the god and find our big battle encounter somewhere else. Yeah, this big god encounter that they set up, that's not who we're meant to fight. That's not the goal of the one-shot. You know, it's kinda obvious. And especially experienced D&D players, it's not a very difficult setup to recognize. Now, as a DM though, wouldn't there be opportunities to defeat the god through some other means? Yeah, definitely. There would definitely be many opportunities to set it up differently so that they still have to fight or defeat the god. Even, you know, if it's not directly, they could have still found other ways to lead the story that way. From what I can tell from the post, the DM is pretty inexperienced, hasn't DM'd much, and not DM'd in a while. So, you know, you can't fault them for just not knowing. Hi. Nah. So, you know. Yeah, an experienced DM, sure. They should have probably acted differently and found a way to still get the players to fight the encounter without making it seem so railroady. You know, if the DM just doesn't know any better and just doesn't have all that much experience, it's a hard thing to expect from them. Nah. Hi. And especially when you haven't DM'd in a while and you're like, oh, I just want to give it a try again, cause I haven't done it in a while, I'm not too sure about it. And then someone is in your game and they just act and look really, really bored. And like they just don't enjoy being there. And then they leave immediately after. Of course, that'll make you sad. That'll make you feel like you're not a good DM. Which, you know, they may not have been a good DM since, you know, was apparently not that good. But you don't want to give people that feeling, cause that's just gonna discourage them. Hi. That's my thoughts at least. Ma, I ranted about this for a little while. Mama, I'll give another Q&A. Ma. Hi. So, you know, that's just the way that I interpreted the situation, you know. Trying to think what the DM probably felt like. Demo, I can still be wrong. Hi, I can still be wrong. In my opinion, it wasn't really the DM's fault. Demo, if you don't think so, that's also okay. Also, welcome. Not El Shamoy? Not El Shamoy? Ma, welcome! Thank you so much for coming by! Arigato! Hi. Ma? Ne, I'm not a dumb よかった。よかった。Okay. Move back. Bum. Ba ba bum. And now. Let me end this poll. It has been concluded that I am not a Dumbo, thank you. Arigato. Ma, this one is a shorter one. Demo, I'll read it out all the same. The Tale of the Unbearable Bard Druid and a Bear Druid. Sorry, I am a bard at heart. I always think about bards. The Tale of the Unbearable Bear Druid and the DM's Girlfriend. This incident happened a few years ago, but the memory of it is as fresh as a dragon's breath, and almost as hot. Our group was made up of a fairly typical mix of RPG enthusiasts. There was me, a half-orc barbarian, Dave, the elven ranger, Hannah, the dwarven cleric, and there was Ted. Ted was a newcomer to our group, but seemed friendly enough. He was playing as Bear Druid, which should have been a red flag in hindsight. Ted had a peculiar playstyle, to say the least. He was convinced that as a Bear Druid he should be allowed to do whatever a bear could do. And I mean anything. He would interrupt the game, insisting that he wanted to hibernate mid-battle, forage for berries in the dungeon, and mark his territory in every tree we passed. It was annoying, but at first we all just laughed it off, thinking it was a bit of good-natured role-playing. Enter the DM's girlfriend, Sarah. She joined the group a few sessions in, playing a human rogue. She was new to D&D, but eager to learn, and we were all more than happy to guide her along. It was all good until Ted decided that his Bear Druid was attracted to Sarah's rogue. Now, in the spirit of the game, a bit of romance isn't necessarily a bad thing, but Ted took it a whole new level. He started role-playing very uncomfortable interactions, insisting that his character was just acting like a bear. It got even worse when he attempted to court Sarah's rogue by bringing her dead rats, birds, and other presents in-game. Sarah understandably was uncomfortable and asked him to stop, but Ted insisted it was just his character. Things came to a head during one session where Ted's Bear Druid attempted to protect Sarah's rogue from an attacking goblin, causing a total party wipe because he refused to attack, saying he was too busy guarding Sarah's character. After that, the DM had a serious talk with Ted about his behavior, and thankfully, Ted agreed to dial it back, but the damage was already done. Sarah didn't return to the game, the group atmosphere was sour, and it took us quite some time to find our groove again. Ma. A slightly shorter one. So, what do you think about this one? Who's in the wrong? Is it the bear? Is it the DM? Is it the cleric? Mate was a cleric, right? Oh no, it was a rogue. It was a rogue. Is it the rogue? Or is it everyone? Jajang! Unbearable playing style. Wow. Ma, let me tell you what I think. Ma. Now the professional's opinion. I don't think romance needs to be in D&D. You can play D&D just fine without. And, you know, certain players think just the way that I do. They don't want romance in their games, and that is fine. And some players want romance in their games, but not all the time, and not with every character. You have a right to say no. Nah. Have your D&D character say, "No, no, don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. I do not allow the bear." Hi. And if you want to play romance with another player character, you always have to have their permission. If they do not give permission, then it's not nice to do that. Even if it's unrequited too. Even if you're like, oh, your character doesn't need to like mine back. My character is just going to like yours. It's still not nice to do that. Especially if the other person told you that they don't want it. Hi. Hi. So, yeah. Some people just don't like that kind of D&D romance stuff. And if they say, "No thank you, not with my character," then, it's wrong of you to not respect that. Do not force them into the bear romance. Hi. Hi. That is my opinion. Bear is in the wrong. I guess the DM could have also said, "Knock it off, not just dial it back." Cause if the player doesn't like it, then it's not like a, "Oh, just make it less." It's like a, "Don't do it." Hi. So what's this poll about? I read a story, and then you get to decide who was in the wrong. Hi. Yeah. So as a DM, if one of your players said no, it's also your job to make sure that the no is upheld. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily need him to be creepy. Maybe he just thought the bear thing was funny, demo. It stops being funny as long as the other player is not comfortable with it. Jajang! Alas, the bear was in the wrong. Jajang. The DM has the responsibility to shut down these things. I think if they see one of the players are not comfortable, as they might not have the courage to tell it's making them uncomfortable, ne? No, the rogue was not in the wrong. It was the bear. And sort of also the DM demo, he did say to dial it back, but ideally he would have just said knock it off. Hi. Hi. Okay. Chan. Another one. Wow. Mate. Ta-da! Probably a tame one by the substandards, but here we go. So, I run a lot of D&D. I've even done it professionally as a paid DM, though not anymore. That's a separate post altogether, I think. But whilst I see and read a lot about DMs having issues with players who are introduced to the hobby through Stranger Things or Critical Role, this is the first time I've actually stumbled over the issue myself. And I'm kind of salty about it for two reasons. The player in question ground the game to a halt in order to pitch and debate me running a class feature in a certain way. As a veteran player and DM himself, he really ought to know better. In fairness, I was asking for trouble when I, at this player's request, funnily enough, allowed the Blood Hunter class, a class that Matt Mercer graded. My only real defense is that, 1, Cursed Strahd is an appropriate setting for an edgelord class like Blood Hunter, and 2, the issue is separate to the raw of Blood Hunter anyway. Player decides to play Goblin, a small race. He takes the Order of the Lycan subclass. All fair enough. He has gone for his for this Wereshark transformation that's really cool. I should also explain at this point that whilst the player will deny this, he is one of the players that absolutely loves to win, and will always try and put his character in a position to do so. I did not know that Ra means real as written name. I just assumed it meant the basic. That's not a problem by any means, but it also means that he really doesn't like it when his character isn't in that position. Anyway, after a PC, meaning play a character, by last session, the party starts the session looting the body, and Goblin eyes this heavy crossbow and calls dibs. I say that's fine and gently remind him that small-sized creatures have disadvantage on using heavy weapons. He tries to argue, no, I'm sure that's only tiny size. Cue the game being ground to halt as we double check. Nope, I'm right. Small size or smaller. Sorry. Let's move on. What about if I transform using hyper transformation? I can be one size larger, right? He asks. Nope, nothing in the rules is written about that. And I'm not about to allow it because if a medium-sized creature played this class, they'd become large-sized when transformed, and that has major mechanical consequences. Well, Matt Mercer says it could be run this way, and yet curiously didn't allow it when writing up the class. I'm salty because this was a debate that stopped the game, and then dragged on because the player wouldn't initially accept no as an answer, until he felt like he'd exhausted all of his excuses. This was also not a discussion that needed to happen there and then. I am very happy to discuss the reasonings between sessions. But as a PSA to players, if you're trying to butter up your TM into allowing something to be run in a particular way, the worst thing you can say is Matt Mercer says he can, or that's how Matt Mercer does it. Because one thing I was going to allow is for them to be able to breathe underwater in hybrid form. Makes sense for a wereshark, despite there not being anything in the rules written to allow it. But I'm not genuinely worried that that'll be the proverbial inch that becomes a mile. Oh well, if you're going to allow that, then reveal song list of demands including size growth again. So yeah, nothing group breaking or anything like that. I'm getting the conversation with him because it's not the first time I've had to address this behavior, including a moment the session before last, actually, where he tried to lie about what I'd said earlier in the session. I was grateful to have other players back me up in that one. They're great in low-stakes D&D games and campaigns where roleplay rules over mechanics, but more serious games seem to bring out something unpleasant in them. Hi! Jajang! So, that is this day. Ba 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 ba. Ahem, ahem. So, what do you think? Ma, I also really like your thumbnail art. I always thought your flat was a pancake. What? なんでよ、もう。I think it's normal sized, ma. Hi. Hi. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you something real quick. Hi. まあ I'm sorry, Ari, but I'd enjoy your stream more if you were Matt Mercer. I'm sorry, I cannot be Matt Mercer. So, recently, I showed my rigged model to Hitsumama. You know, I was showing it off. And, also, arigato. Thank you so much, Tobita. Thank you for joining video card. Oh, ma. I found out that that the rigger gave me a toggle that I did not ask for. They included it. Hi. And Hitsumama and I both thought it was very funny. So. I have a toggle to take my shirt off. Ma, my model's wearing underwear, which I did not even know that Hitsumama drew. Ma. Apparently, she did draw. And apparently, the rigger thought like, oh, since it's drawn, that has to be a toggle. And now I have a shirt toggle. And I can tell you, Ma, ita, I am not flat as a pancake. I have seen. I am not flat as a pancake. No, not. Promise I'm not. Hi, I saw. Nah, so, Wow. Hi. As sister, I wanted to share. ね、わー。Hi, Ma, I won't show you. I won't show you, obviously. Demo. Yeah. Hi. We'll see one day. No. No, Ma. I showed Mama because Mama is a girl. But you're not a girl. You don't get to see. Ma, 恥ずかしい. It's not for you to see. Hi. Oh gosh. No, I will never reveal it. I'll make sure that. I will make sure. No. Ma. Hi. ま、Mama. No, I will not show it. Ma, not even scuff, not even an accident. I'll make sure that it can't be shown. Not even for scuff. Not even for scuff reason, Ma. なんでそういうシータがし、なんでや。何なあ。秋、まあ。Well. I mean, Hi, the toggle can be disabled. Ne, I'll just not bind it to any keybind, so then it will not exist. Hi. Okay. It's time. It's time for the next story. Ja-ja-ja-jang. But, I'm too far away. Hi. I'm a girl, can I see? Ma, I do not believe. Hi. Heidi, where are you? Ma, I'm off in the distance. Don't mind me. You see the street behind me? I'm going home. Sayonara. Pa. Otsu, bye. Pa. Pa. I'm gone. What? Okay, anyway. 待ってよ。バーン。じゃじゃん。ごちゃい。たらー。秋。My chaotic evil character TPK, which in case you don't know means total party kill. TPK'd the rest of the party before it first got started, and I don't know how to feel about. I don't feel bad about that. Oh gosh. Stay brave. Ma, if I'm reading a chaotic evil character, I have to sound evil. Kimatte. I'm gonna sound evil, wait. Stay brave. I play a chaotic evil character. Rest of the party tries to abandon and murder me on sight, then blames me for everything wrong with chaotic evil when I defend myself. Yeah, this was a very long time ago on a play-by-post site that you've never heard of. I think the site was called mydndgame.com. I checked, but that domain is up for sale as of time of writing this. So, if that's what it was, It sure didn't last very long. With the story I'm about to relate to you, I can't help but imagine why that might be. I'm uncertain how this party came to be, but we were a group of 5, all somewhere on the spectrum. The campaign was in the Dales of Toro, I think that's right, and we were all starting at level 2. The party composition was a human ranger, a half-orc bard/barbarian, bardbarian, a dwarf paladin, and my character was a human welder. For those unfamiliar, welders are the charisma version of the scion, in the same way sorcerers are to wizards, except that welders are actually really good, as you'll learn later. Our very first quest was to clear out a den of orcs who'd been doing generic evil bad guy things to our starting town. Knowing the reputation that chaotic evil characters tend to have, I laid my intentions on the table very early in an attempt to allay all concerns. I was chaotic because I wanted to take the pyrokineticist prestige class, and evil because she really likes burning stuff. Seeing as I rolled very well on my mental stats, in 16, wisdom 15, charisma 19, the GM was using 2d8 plus 6, I don't know why. I felt that my welder would be very friendly, amicable, and also neurotically aware of her situation. In her words, I can burn human villages and be hunted as a villain, or burn orc villages and be paid as a hero. The choice is obvious. We're having barbecue pork chop tonight. The players acknowledged this and seemed to be mildly enthusiastic. Thus, we get to the actual roleplay. We keep it simple, start in a tavern, and introduce our PCs. The barbarian and paladin are having a drunken arm wrestling contest and regaling each other with their tales of their machismo. Is that how you pronounce them all? I once suplexed a polar bear off a cliff. Reminds me of the time I gave my coat to an orphan girl and had to walk through a blizzard for 8 hours, warmed by only the celestial hearth of my god. The ranger and I enter town from opposite angles and meet up by the bowyer shop. He is buying a bow. A bowyer shop? Nande? Ma. He is buying a bow while I am having a crossbow repaired, after I got a little over-enthusiastic with my last fire ray. The ranger is immediately distrustful of my welder. I don't know why, but grizzled ranger or wilderness man is such a classic trope I didn't think much of it, and we ended up entering the tavern together. Shortly after, we were all in the same in-game space together. A big old royal guardsman, a soldier, or some such, enters the tavern and calls for mercenaries. The others answer the call, while Ma Wilder listens from the corner, given that she is not the best friends with the law. We are told of the orcs and the troubles they are causing on the road, and that parties who like gold and killing orcs ought to prepare to embark within the morning. Yeah, I thought. Ma Wilder likes to do both of those things. One is a good target for fire, and the other buys resources she can use to make more fire. I fear my welder is not likely to volunteer without her weapons on her. She wouldn't be taken seriously. So I narrate how I'll wait an hour for repairs to be completed and approach the group then, since we have until morning. My welder gets her crossbow, returns, and the party is gone. So much for waiting until the morning. I make some quick gather information checks. I had the intelligence. I sprinkled cross-class ranks into K nobility Nandea. No, that doesn't sound... This is not 5e. To figure out what happened and then set off a brisk hustle to follow. Upon catching up to the party, the ranger immediately fires an arrow at my welder. Hey, can never be too careful. Whoa, mate, check your eyes, I'm not an orc. Just because you're not an orc doesn't mean you're friendly. She could be a highwayman, be careful. We met in the town, remember? I was the one who suggested you for your bow. If you're friendly, why are you hiding? Show yourself. My welder comes out with hands up, pointless gesture since I can kill people with my brain, but they don't know that yet. I use detect evil. My welder is evil. and also has her imp patron following her without being aware of it. She's evil, get her and her demon friend. Wait, why is Char here? According to my backstory, Whoa! My Wilder is wearing a chain shirt, has 17 dexterity and 1 initiative, so she has her buckler out and is using total defense, so her AC is high. She does some stuff, please calm down, I just want to kill orcs with you and get paid. We don't work with evil people. Round 3, Wilder's turn. I said calm down. I activate my Wild Surge and expend my Sonic Focus on the Psionic Shot feat and launch my Fire Ray at the Ranger's precious Masterwork Bow. I have Privileged Energy, so I get a +1 damage bonus on it. They didn't need to describe the combat in every detail. 난데요, skip that, that's boring. My Wilder took them all down in a single shot each, even including the level 6 NPC guardsmen who attempted to intervene once it became clear that the party couldn't roll above a 15 to save their lives. I suggested to the GM that the fire cauterized their wounds, so none of them are actually dying, but he's a very rules-written person, and declines while pointing out I was throwing entire virtual fistfuls of D6. The entire party ends up bleeding out because, surprise, the chaotic evil character didn't think to put any ranks and treat injury. My Wilder gave the fallen PCs the most respectful send-off she knew, burning their bodies in a massive forest fire. I was speculatively wondering how that scene could have proceeded differently and not at all subtly hinting to the GM to rewind so we could take the scene again from the top. The response was that we should start making the usual noises and all caps posts about how I am an edgelord and chaotic evil PCs should never be allowed, and I'm terrible and awful for destroying their equipment and getting mad when they attempted to. Blah blah blah. I don't need to tell you what they said. I was just astonished, referring to the page throughout the day as they rant and rave, all while thinking to myself, I have Asperger's syndrome and I can't read the social cues better than these people. They weren't even good role players. I was throwing up paragraphs and they were writing two-liners. The ranger didn't even end his posts with periods. Nah, so when I refreshed the page I was banned from the game. Couldn't help but sigh in relief. What could I have said to these people to justify myself? It's what my character would have done, because it actually wasn't. I was trying my absolutest to hold them back in spite of all possible reasons to go full-born on the strangers trying to murder her. I'd love to play the character again sometime. I think she has a lot of potential as a character to explore. What it means to be evil, how evil is often perceived by others, and how even good people can work with evil in pursuit of a greater goal. 짜잔! Wow, so much. They included an unneeded amount of the battle. Like, I do not care what abilities you hit them with. I do not care what your SC was. Just say I beat them up. Hi. Well, I mean, you know. Imagine not ending your sentence with periods. Hi, Ma. 네, from their post they seemed a little full of themselves. Hi. Ma. Yeah. I mean, you know, this whole paragraph at the end that said they weren't even good role players. You know, they didn't end their posts with periods. I mean, that was not relevant to the story. That was just you going, I'm better than them. Hi. Nemo, you know, I feel as though if the entire party isn't okay with chaotic evil characters, then it should have been communicated. If they really heard the plan to play a chaotic evil character and then were like, okay, you know how the OP described it at the start? If you don't want to play with an evil character, just say no. No, cause it seemed as though they were fine with it at the start. But, hi, ma. Nemo, yeah, the story sounded a little strange. Wow. 下手ね。Yeah, Demo. I don't think the OP was the kindest person, but, if the other players at the start of the game said it's fine for them to play a chaotic evil character, and the way to play the chaotic evil character was fine too. Ma, so if they said it's okay at the start, it's not okay to, take it back. Hi. And that's true too. A good character wouldn't just attack an evil character. Like, imagine you inside check the headmaster at your school and oh no, he's evil! What you gonna do? You're not just gonna kill him. You're like, oh, they're a bad person inside, but, as long as they haven't done anything bad, you can't just go ahead and kill them. No. Hi, ma. さ Thank you. Oh, I checked my radar. It says you have the bad. You have the bad. You're evil. Therefore, time to die. Hi. Ma. So. Well, I feel as though the story is relatively straightforward. And that is it for the stories that I prepared today. Ja-ja! Mom clapping them. I don't know if you can hear. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. Ta-da! Bad eye. Bad radar. Wakatta. Ma! Hi. Thank you so much for coming by. Oh my gosh. You know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna lay down in front of a fan and go while drinking my Fanta cause it's so warm. It's so warm. Mom, I'm kinda dumbo and my brain is still like April. Even though it's actually like almost the middle of June now. So I didn't even think I'd need a fan in my room. Ma, I gotta bring it to my room pretty soon. Hi. Do you have ice cubes? No, sadly not. But I still have my Fanta. It's a little warm now, but that's okay. I'll still drink it. Okay, Ma. Arigato. Thank you so much for joining me today. Tomorrow is video day. Hi. And then I'll post my schedule for next week. Arigato. Thank you so much for coming. Ma. Before you say Airishiteru, would you like to see the level 1 goblin again before you leave? Would you like to have a level 1 goblin to go? Would you like to? Yes, please? Okay. Ma, one level 1 goblin for you. なんでThank you so much, Adam. Ma, I'm gonna be a bit selfish and ask you to do more of these in the future. These streams are so much fun and I love any excuse to talk D&D with you. Thanks, Heidi. Thank you so much. Wow. Ma, I don't think it's a secret that I really enjoy D&D, so I really like those streams too. Nene, there will be more in the future. Thank you so much. Arigatou. Wow, thank you. Dankeschön. And that being said, I will see you next time. Arigatou. And... Ciao! sword. I'll die to just one attack. I only have 3 hit points. Please, sir. I'm a little goblin. I will not drop good items. No! His sword is so strong. I am level 1 goblin. I don't know why I guard this dungeon. Oh, I'm just a small little goblin. No, please don't swing your sword. I'll die to just one attack. I only have 3 hit points. Please, sir. I'm a little goblin. I will not drop good items. No, his sword is so strong. I am level 1 goblin. I don't know why I guard this dungeon.